Texas is very well known as the Livable Forest, and it was the very first master plan community in the entire Houston area. It is a very sought after community and very desirable. One of the very main things that it's known for is its parks and its greenbelt trails. There are hundreds of miles of trails in Kingwood. So if you are a biker, a hiker, a walker, and your children love to be entertained with nature, Kingwood is wanting to be on the top of your list. At the end of lots of cul-de-sacs in the villages, you are going to find access to these greenbelt trails, and they just wind and go all through, and there's hundreds of miles of them. Plus they connect to Lake Houston. Where in the heck is Kingwood? So Kingwood is centrally located just northeast of Houston, straight up I-69. It is about 20 miles from downtown, and a positive it is a direct shot to downtown, the medical center, and it is only about 10 minutes from IAH Airport, so that is huge. A little bit of a downfall when you go in and out of Kingwood, it's 2 lanes in and 2 lanes out. Kingwood is probably, I'm going to say, about 8 miles deep, so the further back you go, the newer homes are, because obviously the community is built from the front to the back. So this community started in the late 70s, probably 78, 79. So as you're at the front of Kingwood, you've got the older homes, and as you go deeper and deeper into it, you go into the newer homes. So we'll talk about each one of those. Kingwood is definitely a city inside of a city. It's a small town vibe. All the streets are lined by beautiful oak trees. You can't really see too much past it because there's so many trees. In addition to the green belts, there are trees everywhere. It's luscious landscape. It's super green. It's very warm and fuzzy. Everyone loves it here. So when you go down Kingwood Drive, when you get to the heart of Kingwood, you are in what's called Town Center. You're going to have H-E-B, you're going to have grocery stores, you're going to have your title companies, you're going to have a lot of shopping. There's a lot of mom and pop shops in there. You've got hardware stores, you have attorneys, you have title companies, you've got a lot of everything. You have Tiff's Treats, you have other cookie places, you have lots of food and shopping in there. Another wonderful, very popular spot of Kingwood is when you get to West Lake Houston Parkway, you hang a right, and it's called the Waterway. So obviously it's on Lake Houston. They have Sharkies, they have Raffas, there's other shopping, there's boutique shopping in there, and it is a great spot to be on the weekends. A lot of times in the summer, they have free concerts going on there. There's something going on all the time over at the Waterway. Let's talk about the school districts in Kingwood. So it is a bigger school district. You're going to have 2 high schools, 2 middle schools, and I think 7 or 8 elementary schools that's zoned to the different villages. So Kingwood is kind of made up of villages. Like I said, you're going from the front to the back. All kinds of pricing too. You're going to start in your 200s all the way up to your millions. Average price is probably going to be $400 to $500 in there. You have very affordable housing at the beginning, single family homes built in the late 70s, early 80s, all the way back to Kingwood Estates, which is your custom homes that are on the lake behind a big fancy gate back there. You have Kings Point, you have Royal Brook, which is the newest. You're going to get the newest homes in Royal Brook. It's the last village that you have in there. You have Sand Creek, you have Bear Branch. Those 2 villages are right in the heart of Kingwood. In the middle of Kingwood, you've got that 80s and 90s vibe. People like that custom, traditional look in there. They are very well-made homes, and they're not going to be anything that looks similar to what we have today. All right. Once you go to the back, the homes are a little bit newer. A very positive thing that Kingwood has is right on the freeway on Highway 69 across the street from Kingwood is Kingwood Hospital and Kingwood Medical District. We are actually pulling, like I said, Houston is known for its medical center, which is near downtown. But now Kingwood really has the growth of its own medical that you can literally go right across the freeway to get a ton of your medical needs met. Over there, the hospital is growing. They have a really good staff and people are moving in. They are building additional office spaces like crazy. They have multiple urgent care, multiple ER spaces that are in there. They can do pretty much anything that you need with regard to medical on the other side of the freeway. We're going to talk about taxes and how taxes are absolutely a pro in Kingwood. If you have been house hunting in the Texas area, you're going to know that new construction has what's called a MUD tax, Municipal Utility District, and it can be 1% or more that's added on to communities because it's for the infrastructure of when they're building a new community. Well, Kingwood does not have any MUD tax, so their taxes are going to be in the low 2s. So that gives you more buying power when you look at it. You're not building that, all of those facilities and all of their infrastructure was all built a long, long time ago. So they don't have a mud tax in there, and that's really good. So Kingwood, like I said, is about 20 miles from downtown. It's also accessible to our big sister, the Woodlands. You're not very far from the Woodlands. I would say a pro for Kingwood, you've got some mom and pop shopping. There's a lot of boutiques in there. You do have some name brand stores for your puppies, and you've got Ann Taylor Loft and a couple of other stores in there that the locals really do like to go into. It's a very big community on supporting your local businesses. I will say it has great restaurants. You've got Carrabba's, you've got the Veranda, that's Italian food. We just had a lot of new restaurants come off of North Park Drive. That's the second entrance that you come in. So things are building up like crazy. We have a lot of new restaurants coming. I'll say this, there's not as many Mexican food restaurants in Kingwood as I would expect, but there is a good variety. I would say a negative, there's not really a steakhouse. There's not really high-end shopping or restaurants that you are going to see in the Woodlands. It's going to be more of your average, be able to go out to eat every night. It's not necessarily fancy date night over there. That's, maybe a negative to some people. I will say also a negative to Kingwood is there's not much entertainment directly in Kingwood besides the trails and the lakes and stuff we're talking about. Like you have to go outside of Kingwood to get like a Max Bowl or to get a movie theater or anything like that. There's not much directly inside Kingwood for entertainment. There's a lot of Friday night lights going on. Remember, it's a small town vibe. High school football is huge here. Sports are huge here. Families are huge here. That's why people move to Kingwood. I will also say that because Kingwood is not like its big sister, the Woodlands, there's so much going on over there, and we'll do that later. Not as many people are moving here, so it's not as competitive with the pricing and when you're purchasing your home, so you should not be any bidding wars. There are a lot of options, there are a lot of price points, but it's smaller. It's not as big as the Woodlands, but it still has that small town charm that gives you all the feel of the big trees and the walking trails. So one of the best assets that Kingwood is known for is its country club. So the country club is right off of Kingwood Drive, and it was completely rebuilt in 2018. So you have the country club, and they do a ton of activities, obviously on all of your holidays. New Year's Eve is huge there. You can rent that out for parties, for Christmas, for your company parties, anything that you want to do. It has a gym. It has an Olympic-sized pool. It has a splash pad. It is a phenomenal facility. So you have to join the Kingwood Country Club on your own. It's extra. It is not part of your HOAs. However, every village has its own community pool. So that is included in your HOA, so you don't have to pay extra for that. There are 2 golf courses in Kingwood. There's Deerwood and then there's Kingwood. I think there's 2 golf courses at each one of those clubs. So there's a lot of golf going on. There's a lot of golf. There's a lot of business on the golf course. So if that's something you enjoy, then you will definitely be in the right spot for that.